they have the flu, stay home.
Yeah.
People get the flu all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And last year in America, 61,000 people died from it, from the flu. So more people died from COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more. I don't know. I mean, I think that the number they're attributing it to it is 110 now.
110,000.
But I don't know if that's more or less than the real number, because they're wondering, like, are people dying of COVID that they're not counting? Are people dying of other things and they're counting it as COVID?
Yeah.
There's a lot of dispute as to what the real number is. But let's say it's accurate.
Yeah.
110, it's basically less than twice as bad as a bad flu. I don't think that's enough to shut down the fucking economy.
Yeah.
I think people need to make good choices. But meanwhile, they don't say a word about taking care of yourself. Not a word. Not a word about don't drink so much. Not a word about don't eat sugar. Not a word. Get your sleep.
Yeah.
Here's how important sleep is to your immune system. Not a word.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think changes? What do you think doesn't recover after this? Like,
Bro,
you think people?
Restaurants are fucked.
I think people go right back.
They will go right back, but the restaurants don't have the money to stay open.
Oh yeah, so like businesses that operate on the fringe
Yes.
are done. Like the businesses that are like, all right, I got money this month, we can stay open. I think they operate in a world that never considered that we could have some sort of calamity like this.
Well, that was what Janet, the owner of Felix, was saying, is that most of these restaurants, they operate on, they make like 14% profit.
Yeah.
That's like what they operate on. If you shut them down for 3 months, they're fucked.
Yeah.
And some of them don't even operate that well. They're operating on 4% profit.
Right.
They're barely making it. They're barely getting by. They're not doing so well.
Yeah, it's
And
like
yeah.
Corona exposed pre-existing conditions both physically and economically.
You're right.
Like if your business had these pre-existing conditions, you were barely surviving, Corona's cutting you out of there.
You're right.
I think I keep on looking at like TV, like you see all these like shows being filmed in their home, and it's like, oh fuck.
Oh, like Jimmy Fallon.
Like Fallon and all
that.
these guys, they're doing it in their home now, and it's like
Weird.
not only is it weird, it's like without all the lights,
Yes.
without all the makeup,
How about no audience?
without the laughs, the laugh tracks, all of a sudden it looks real elementary, right?
Yes.
And people kept hitting us up like, you were so gracious, you reposting all this stuff. And like for me, when I saw everybody come to YouTube, I was like, oh, it's a home game now. like the second you can't go to the studio, and we had the studio built, and my guys were
perfect
like,
timing
man,
with your studio. Perfect timing.
bro, it was. And if I did explain to anybody why I was going to build a studio prior to all this, they'd be like, you are the stupidest guy with money I've ever heard in my entire life.
Really? They were saying that to you?
No, they didn't say it, but if I explained like how much money I spent on the studio and that I had zero way of making the money back, because I never, I know this is bad like investment strategy, but I never go, oh, if I put this in now, 10 years is later. All I go is, I really want to do this, and if I love this enough, I'll find a way to make money on it, right?
That's how I live my whole life.
Honestly,
That's
it
how to
works.
do it.
It
Yes,
works. If you're
it
investing in
works.
fucking companies that you have no clue what they are, maybe you do it other way. But if you're investing in the shit that you love,
Yes.
it will work out. It sounds stupid. We sound like Gary Vee.
But you know what? But you know why it
Go
works?
sell some shit in your backyard.
It works because you're chasing what you really enjoy.
Yes.
You know that if you build this studio, you'll get to do some of the clips, like
Bro.
these things that you're putting up on Instagram, and it's what you really enjoy.
Dude, it is. It was so cool. It was so cool just to see everybody come in. And it was like, in the superhero movies where like the supervillain loses their powers,
Yes.
and then has to fight the hero on like an even playing ground, and it's like, oh, this is what we're doing now.
Yes.
It's over. Because I really genuinely believe, and it's a pain in the ass, like it's hard work putting out the pieces, man. And shouts to my guys who do an amazing job. Mark Gagnon, comic, he writes it with me, and
I love how
Robbie
they have the graphics
Slowick
in
and
the back to
Alex
match
Media.
all the shit you're talking about.
Yeah, and we stole the John Oliver graphics,
Did you?
or like background.
Where they go?
It's no, not where they go, but